We've teased you with him in the green room, but I think it's time now to get my next guest out. Will you please welcome the one, the only, the incredible Denzel Washington? It's a thrill. It's a thrill for me to have you back here. Just get a two-shot here. Get a two-shot here. Look at that. Is that not the very definition of eye candy, ladies? Howard, it's great to have you back.
My pleasure.
You're back here in Europe for holiday or for filming?
Both. I was with the family in France and Italy and Spain for about 3 weeks, and Prague we went to, and then I went home for a week, and then I came back to pay for the trip.
Oh, yeah.
Promoting Pelham 1.
So you're back here for the movie now, which we're going to get to, because I've seen it and I loved it. But what do you make of Europe? How do you like that as a vacation destination for you and the family? Because the kids are pretty grown up now, aren't they?
Yeah, they're all just about out of the house. The youngest ones are on their way to college this fall, and we've been going for 19, 20 years now. We take them every summer. We try to go to a city and teach them a little something.
So you learn a bit about the city? You
learn about a city. They've been to London, they've been to Paris, they've been to Prague, Stockholm, all around.
So, the kids are growing up. Are they leaving home? Are they still with you and the missus?
The oldest boy's a professional football player, American football player.
Wow! Yeah. How old is he?
He'll be 25 on
Tuesday.
Tuesday.
Big guy, strapping fella?
Big man, yeah. I got to leave him alone.
Yeah,
but he's got to sleep sometime.
Yeah.
You know,
so you get back in.
Yeah, that's it. I give him too many sleep. But,
bit of dad's discipline.
Yeah, and then his younger brother is a basketball player. In fact, they won the California State Championship.
And so I'm imagining you're a pretty sporty family anyway. You must be a
I played basketball and football in college.
Okay, so they've got it from you. Would you like to have gone professional?
I'm living it through my son. Yeah, of course. I would have loved to have gone professional. I guess I wasn't good enough, evidently. Yeah. But it worked out all right, you know.
And now the daughters, you have twins?
No, the twins are a boy and a girl.
The twins are a boy and a girl.
So my youngest twin is, she's the actress in the family. Wow. She's starting to study theater in university this fall.
And now, presumably, though, you know, pretty soon you're going to have an empty house.
We will have one this fall.
That's, I imagine, quite a hard thing to deal with, isn't it?
Yeah, well, you know what? My wife, I left Wednesday night to fly. I've been to Spain, I've been to Berlin, I've been to... where am I? London. I've been to Paris and then here in London the last 5 days. And Wednesday night, my wife freaked out. She was out, she had a meeting, and she came home about 11 and nobody was home. And she went in the house and she said it was making too much noise. The house was creaking or something. So I get a message the next day. I was calling home. I'm like, oh, as soon as I leave, my wife's hanging out all night. Yeah. But I get a message the next day about 1 in the morning saying that she's driving around. She said, oh, hello, I'm just driving around, you know, I'll talk to you tomorrow. I'm like, what is that about? Come to find out, she was driving around the driveway. She was so nervous, she's riding around in the driveway in front of the house.
So she didn't want to stay in the house?
She slept in the car.
So you're away from home, your wife has a breakdown?
She had a breakdown.
But man, I can understand that, because my kids are getting older. I'm dreading, and I know my wife is really dreading when they head off.
Well, they're literally joined at the hip or at the stomach. I mean, you know, she bore them, she raised them. It's been her life for 25 years.
Would you, you know, I know it's late in life, but you can keep having babies these days, no matter till you're about 70 or 80. Would you consider any more?
That's a question for her.
Okay. Well, have you asked her? Should we get her on the phone now? She's probably driving around outside. Terrified. Should we please just someone to talk to?
No, she said she's done.
Okay, yeah, you know what, because it's hard to think of going back to that stage when they're tiny, lovely though it is. Okay, Denzel is back in town because there's a brand new big action movie coming out, and it couldn't have a better cast because you've got Denzel opposite the fabulous John Travolta in this film, and it's great seeing you guys work with each other, spar off each other. How much of an influence on you accepting the part was his involvement in the project?
I actually suggested him.
So you were already signed on for it?
I was signed on, and the first person I thought of was John. I'd never worked with John, and I didn't really know him well. In fact, my wife knows him better than me. And
is there a story there we should get into here?
You know, you know, really a sweet man, and you know, we filmed this last year before this terrible tragedy that he had in his family. But we just had a lot of fun, and he loves to sing songs, and you know, because in the story we talk to each other over a microphone, and he over a walkie-talkie. So the first 3 weeks I was on camera, and he was in his dressing room doing just the voice.
Oh, she did it that way?
Yeah,
well, let's just
separately.
start, because people might not. This is a remake of a film, and it's substantially different to the original, which I think is a good thing, because I love the original, and so I thought, well, is it right they remake it? But they've made it so different that it feels like an entirely different film. But the core is pretty much the same. We should explain who you play in it and who John plays in it and what's going on.
I play a guy who's overweight. I put on 40 pounds for the film, and took it off, I think.
Yeah, no, but you look great. But you look pretty good. You can carry the weight, so you kind of got away with it.
It's called bigger clothes.
Yeah, but so how did that feel, carrying that extra bulk around?
Like an extra 40 pounds. Yeah. But getting there was such fun.
Yeah, I bet.
Oh, man. Milkshakes, hamburgers, you know. Middle of the night, a little Haagen-Dazs, the whole pint. Oh, anything I wanted, just eat.
And what would you wear around the house to be comfortable? Not that I'm quite that big, but I feel sweat gathers under here and sometimes in the folds at the back of my knees. And I found an all-in-one sheet with a hole cut in the top. Is cooling. Did you go for the muumuu?
I should have. I should have.
A poncho, perhaps?
A poncho, yeah, a tent.
And how did your wife react to you bulking up like this? What did she say about it?
She was okay with it.
She didn't mind cuddling Denzel?
I think every wife wants their husband to be plump and, you know, fatten him up. You know, I noticed she doesn't eat. She cooks all this food for me, but she doesn't eat it.
Do you think they make you fat so that you won't roam?
Take you off the market, yeah.
That's what it is.
Yeah, I think so. I think there's some, I don't know. What do you think, gents? Is there something to that? Yeah. Ladies? See?
They're all blinded by us. We're too glamorous.
No, but that's you know, my wife is, she's a traditional, you know, she's great wife. You know, they say behind every great man is a great woman. Well, my wife's in front of me. I'm following her. She's a great cook, and I remember one time she wanted to hire a chef. I'm like, for who? You ain't cooking for me. Because she's a great cook, and you know,
well, that's a lovely thing for her to hear, I bet. I mean, she loves it. Well, you say, no, we don't need a chef, you're the best cook.
No, I'm not eating anybody else's food.
That's fantastic.
I'm eating my wife's food.
OK, now, back to taking a Pelham 1, 2, 3.
Yeah,
that's the name of the film. You put on the weight for this movie, which shows a certain kind of diligence, and a lot of people wouldn't do that, you know, and it's...
laziness, really.
But yeah, but it's interesting you did this film because it's more of an all-out action thriller, but you're not the action role in it.
Right. He's an ordinary guy in an extraordinary set of circumstances. It's actually partially based on a real guy who, I won't give away the story, but there's this cloud over his head. He's in a bit of a pickle, and this opportunity, this call that he happens to pick up at his dispatch desk is from Ryder, who's played by John Travolta. And it's a hostage situation, and he wants a lot of money and all of this. And I get more and more involved, and because of the problem that my character has, this is an opportunity for him to redeem himself. OK,
this is a clip from The Taking of Pelham 1, 2, 3. Denzel Washington, John Travolta, The Taking of Pelham 1, 2, 3. That's out next Friday all over the UK. It's great fun. It must be fun when you make a movie like that, you come into a project like that, and when you see it finish on the screen and you know it works, you know, people, you know, it achieves what it set out to achieve.
Right.
Because that can't, I guess, always be the case with films, is it?
No, it's not always the case. I mean, and even the scene you saw is just really the beginning of the screws tightening. It just gets more intense and intense, and John is, you know, I think he's such a good bad guy because he's actually such a good person.
Even when he's being evil on screen, you kind of like him.
You like him, yeah. I wish the second day of shooting, I'm playing the wrong part.
You're quite, I get the feeling, and I may be wrong, I get the feeling that not necessarily in terms of party politics or good, but you're quite a political person, quite a connected person, quite an involved person.
Well, you know, I'm for trying to make things better. I mean, I look at it like this, you know, I even say it in the movie. You never see a U-Haul behind a hearse. You know, you can't take it with you.
Yeah.
And be it money, talent, patience, love, whatever your gift is, you can't take it with you. So what are you going to do with it when you're here? Who have you lifted up? Who have you made better? Who have you helped out? Not how much do you have, but what you have. Some people have love, some have patience, some have money, some have fame. Whatever your talent is, we all have something. Help your fellow man. I mean, that's the way I look at it. At the end of the day, none of us are perfect. You know, none of us are angels, but you do the best you can with what you have.
That's what a marvelous sentiment. That's very rare. It's a lovely thing. I've heard this rumour, and it's I can see why this rumour would circulate. There's talk that maybe they will be making a film on the life of the new President of the United States, Barack Obama, and that your name has been thrown in the ring as the lead candidate to play him. And indeed, he said that he would like you to play him.
Yeah, what happened was, from what I gathered, they interviewed him.
Well, there's a photograph there where you... Well, I'll be honest with you, and I don't mean to disrespect the President, but you're... Now, what are you doing there, Denzel?
He's got bigger ears than me. No, he actually said that, actually. I'm just saying, just saying what the President said.
Well, he's given an impression there what you might look like with the President's ears.
You see?
It doesn't work. You look like someone out of Star Trek there with those ears. I think the man who's got the ears, of course, will be this actor right here. This is the guy.
Smith?
Yeah. Look at those lugs.
Yeah, there you go.
They're even big. Well, they're very similar there.
They kind of match, don't they?
Okay.
No, he actually mentioned myself and Will, and he actually jokingly said Will because their ears were similar.
But would you do it if the part came out? I mean, I guess it's early in his presidency for you to want to...
The story's not told yet.
Yeah.
You know, you got to have a story to tell. I mean, he's got enough on his plate than to be worrying about...
Worrying about you. But
yeah.
it seems like that story is certainly going to be worth telling, doesn't it, at the moment?
One day. You know, I played some real characters before, real people before, but it was 25 years after...
A long time after they stopped being that person.
I think you need some time.
Yeah. It's an exciting time, that, to be in America, though, isn't it?
Every day is an exciting time to me. To be on this side of the grass is exciting. You know what I mean? Just to be on this side of the grass is good. I mean, there's a hopefulness. Yeah. You know, he's pushing the agenda. He's shaking up the cabinet in the House of Representatives and the Senate. He's shaking things up. He's actually said to the rest of the world, hey, we like to talk. Imagine that. There's a novel idea.
And he's also saying, we're not perfect now, and we weren't perfect, and we've made mistakes, which people didn't acknowledge before, did they?
Yeah, you know, I mean, we had a rough 8 years before him. Yeah. I mean, I give President Bush credit for keeping, or President Cheney, whichever one it was, credit for keeping the country safe, but he kind of isolated us from the rest of the world. I mean, I travel a lot, and it was embarrassing.
Have you been to the Oval Office? Have you visited since Barack Obama has become president?
I've been invited, but I haven't gone yet because everybody's been bum rushing the place. You know, everybody wants to be there. Oh, we take it. I see every other day somebody else is there. Yeah. He's got enough on his plate. He invited me. I was so honored. He asked me to do two things. They had a big concert at the Lincoln Memorial, and he asked me to open the show, which was like 2 million people or whatever. Yeah. And then at his first inaugural ball, he asked me to introduce he and the First Lady for the first time, and to introduce their first dance.
That's exciting.
And I was like, that's a long way for a kid from Mount Vernon, New York, and I'm like the President of the United States. That's not too bad.
But he'll get bored of you soon, I'm sure.
Yeah. I think it's starting to happen already. And he invited me to come play basketball with him.
What? No.
Now, yeah, he says, you know.
No, but what's the protocol there? Because you can't beat him. You're not allowed to beat the president.
Hell out of him. You can't. President. Boom! Take that. Take that. I'll crush him like a grape.
Can I ask you, please? You've never worked with Quentin, have you?
No, he's never hired me.
Quentin?
He's never hired me.
Quentin, what's the problem with you? What's wrong with you? Why have you not ever written a film for Denzel?
I haven't been that lucky.
Okay. Well, are you going to do one now?
It would be my honor, and I'm really not just saying that. I think he is one of the best actors in the world.
Although I don't think the Barack Obama story would be safe in your hands. I don't know whether that's the one you want to bring you guys together on that. That's asking for trouble.
Oh, man.
It's so nice to have you back. Thank you so much for coming on the show. You must come back on if you're in town again. I'd love to have you here again, if you wouldn't mind. Ladies and gentlemen, it's a great movie. Go see The Taking of Pelham 1, 2, 3. It's out next Friday if you get the chance. Mr. Denzel Washington. Great. Thank you so much. Terrific fun. Thank you.